episode number 183.
Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut, because #ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. I am excited to jump into today's topic. I'm going to be talking about the assumptions that you may be making that are holding you back from career change success. So the reason why I want to talk about this topic is because I was having a conversation with a client this week and this topic came up, and I thought this is something that I know happens for a lot of people in terms of their thought process. So I wanted to talk about it here. And if you're someone who's been thinking about a career change and you've been stuck and you have been going around in circles about the fact that you know you want to make a move, but you're not quite sure what steps to take, or you're not quite sure what the right option would be for you, then this episode is going to be useful for you. So when it comes to career change, when it comes to thinking about doing something different, particularly when you've been in your role for a long time, when you've been in your industry where you've worked hard to get to where it is that you are, it can feel really overwhelming and difficult to really pin down what the alternative should look like. And when I was speaking to my client recently, she was talking about some potential options, some potential career options that she's considering, but as she was sharing them with me, she was already discounting them as not possible for her. So when I was asking her questions and trying to really tease out why she was thinking they weren't possible for her, she started to list off a whole host of reasons why that type of opportunity wouldn't be a good fit for her. Not so much from the place of that's not what she wants to do, but more it wouldn't be possible because she wouldn't be accepted by a hiring manager considering candidates for that role. So she was saying things about her experience and the fact that she's been where she is for so long, and the fact that they might have a certain view of people from that particular industry and not think that they're a good fit. And she was going off on a tangent about the different reasons why she wouldn't be a good fit. And I had to encourage her to pause and really look at the reasons that she was giving. And I encourage you to do the same. So as you are considering what it is that you want to do, it could even be you going for a promotion. It doesn't necessarily have to be you moving from where you are now to doing something different. But as you are considering the different things you're contemplating, really pay attention to the thoughts that are coming up for you. Because if you are discounting that opportunity because you don't feel like you are good enough or you don't feel like you have the relevant experience, it might be more about assumptions that you're making than it is about real facts. So for example, if you're saying to yourself, I haven't seen anybody from my industry switch into this type of role, or it's not going to be possible because of this. Like, these are the types of things you might be saying to yourself. Or because I have this limited amount of experience, or because I've only done this, I can't see how they're going to want to hire me. Or the competition is going to be too much. There are going to be too many candidates going for this type of role. Therefore, I'm not going to be successful. So you're making statements, you're having thoughts, and those thoughts are turning into beliefs. So you're saying to yourself, okay, this is the reason, this is why I shouldn't go for this, or this is what that person is going to think, or this is what they're going to come up with, or these are the objections that they're going to have. But the question is that fact? Or is that an assumption? What are you basing that on? Because oftentimes, if I dig deeper and say to you, well, where does that come from? It might just be one example that you have seen, or it might be that you haven't seen an example, which is causing you to say it's not possible. So you might have looked around in your network or, people that you know and said, well, I haven't seen anybody else be able to make that shift or that transition. Therefore, it's not possible. But here's the thing. Is that enough data to go on? Because yes, you may not have seen it in your immediate circle, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. That doesn't mean it's not possible. And even if you haven't seen it, and even if no one else is doing it, why can't you be the first person to make that a reality? So I want you to really challenge yourself around the assumptions that you're making about what is possible for you. Because if you are constantly just saying, okay, I can't do that, you're not giving yourself enough time to really fully explore the different options that you're considering. So when it comes to looking at this, it is about taking time to pay attention to your thoughts. So sometimes we have a thought and then we just run with it. We're just going with it and then we say, yep, okay, that's the reason. But what I'm encouraging you to do is say, well, is that fact? What am I basing that on? Do I have evidence to support the thought that I'm having? Because it's really important for us to pay attention. Oftentimes people will say, well, I just need to know what to do. I just need to know what the strategy is. I want to make a career move. What do I need to do to update my LinkedIn? What do I need to do to update my resume? Where do I need to find opportunities? And all of that is good. All of that is relevant. All of that is important. But that's the strategy. That's the strategy piece. That's the what steps do I need to take? But if you don't pay attention to the thoughts that you have in your mind and the assumptions that you are making around what is possible, the strategy is irrelevant. And here's why the strategy is irrelevant. You're not actually going to do it. Because if you think something and you truly believe that you putting yourself forward for this opportunity is not going to work, or people are going to think something about you, or people are going to assume things about you, if that's what you're holding to be true in your mind, then it's going to be really difficult for you to push past those thoughts to actually take the action that you need to take. So before we talk about the strategy, like really pay attention to what assumptions am I making about what is possible for me next in my career? And are those assumptions based on fact? Or are those assumptions just me coming up with what I think based on perhaps limited exposure and experience that I have in terms of this particular transition? Because if you haven't made that career move before, then you don't know what's possible. So you're not coming from a place of experience, right? Because you've been in your role for as long as you've been in your role. So you have to look for other external evidence to help you to determine whether or not this is actually possible, not just the thoughts that you have in your mind. And if you're just staying with the thoughts, then you can turn into the person that is just going round and round in circles, saying that you want a career move, saying that you want to make a change, but not actually doing it. So when I speak to people who say that they've been feeling stuck in their role for the last 2, 3, 5 years, it's likely that they've been making some assumptions about what is possible or not possible for them that's keeping them stuck where they are. So I hope that this is helpful for you in terms of really taking the time to pay attention to what you're thinking and how those thoughts can be really holding you back from going for what it is that you want. Because when I spoke to my client and I highlighted this to her and said, look, you're already discounting yourself. You're already going from, okay, this is what I want to do, and jump into, okay, but how would I make that happen, before you fully identify if that is what you want to do. So I say to people, there is 2 parts to it. There is the what and there is the how. There is the what do I want to do, and then there is the how am I going to make it happen. And if you're jumping straight to the how, you're allowing your thoughts to go down like, I don't even know how I would make that happen. So because I don't know how I would make that happen, that means it's not possible. And it's like, hold on. Let's determine first and foremost, is this what you want to do? Because once we determine this is what you want to do, then we can look at the strategy, but don't allow not knowing what the strategy looks like to stop you from really pinpointing and determining that this is the path that I want to take. So let's focus on the what first, and then you can move to the how. And while you're in the what phase, allow yourself to fully explore things and don't hold yourself back because you just assume that it's not going to be possible for you. So that's what I have for you. Take care. Bye. This episode is sponsored by the Career Changemaker program. Are you ready to make a change in your career? Are you tired of coasting in a role or career that is no longer a good fit? Are you ready to create more impact, feel more fulfilled, and earn more money from the work that you do? If you are nodding your head and what I shared resonates with you, then lean in, because I want to share more with you about the program. This is my signature coaching program that is designed to help you to identify and make your next best career move. I created this program because I recognize that too many amazingly talented women are missing important direction and strategy for their career development and advancement. In the corporate world, there is an unspoken, invisible playbook that determines how you should maneuver to experience the type of career satisfaction that you desire. The problem is, so many women have the playbook with a few pages missing. And if you have pages missing, you're in a position where you don't know what you don't know.
And if you don't know what you don't know, how can you fix it? So I really want to help you. Let me help you fill in the gaps so that you can understand exactly what is required to take you from where you are now to where you want to be in your career, so that you can feel fulfilled in the work that you're doing, so you can be excited about the work that you do, and so that you can feel the impact that you're making through the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Make your application to join the Career Changemaker program today by heading over to www.careerchangemakers.com/program, and I look forward to hearing from you. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any future episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway has been from today's episode. Come over and join us in our Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn so that you can join the conversation there. Head over to lightbotscoaching.com/community and it will take you right to the group. I look forward to seeing you.